Tottenham fans. Tottenham have lost again. They've lost 15 Premier League games this season so far, 19 games altogether. The Spurs fan base have gone into another meltdown. Every time we seem to lose, we seem to say Ange out, and every time we seem to win, Ange don't get any credit. So it's, before I even start this video, I'm not here to protect Ange. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm just here to try and put a little bit of context into the whole situation and just to see where we go from here. For me, if Ange doesn't win the Europa League, then I don't think many Spurs fans can complain that he needs to leave at the end of the season. But what I'm trying to say is, you're shouting Ange out now will make no difference for our season. Maybe probably make it worse, because whoever comes in isn't going to be elite, because we're not going to get a top manager in halfway through a season or near towards the end of a season. We're not going to get, Iriola, if you want Iriola. We're not going to get Thomas Frank. We're not going to get no one like that halfway through the season. We're probably going to end up with Mason. So we'll probably go out of Europe very quickly. Playing Frankfurt with Mason in charge, in my opinion. Might not, but that's my opinion. So, we're getting on the case of, let's for example, amount of times I heard Ange was causing injuries, he doesn't rotate. That was one of the biggest criticisms he was getting. And he rests players and rotates for the Fulham game. And for me, before the game even kicked off and I saw the lineup and I saw that Bentancur, Basuma and Gray were in midfield, I was happy to see Gray in midfield. I've been asking for it for a long, long time. So I was happy with that. But playing Basuma and Bentancur together, I haven't even checked the stats yet, but when they seem to play together, we seem to lose. It's very strange. But there was no creativity for a start. You could see that a mile off. But to caveat that, who was you going to play in that midfield? Kulu's injured. Maddison played 3 days prior. Probably had 1 day's rest, because he had to train as well. So Kulu's injured. Maddison probably wasn't fully fit to play 90 minutes. So we can't play either of them in attacking midfield role. So who would you play in that attacking midfield role? There's no one. We haven't got anybody else. Then you've got Papa Sarr played, I think he played the 90 on Thursday as well. So he can't play in that role either. The only choices we had, and Bergvall as well, sorry. And Bergvall. Bergvall played almost 90 minutes and ended up with cramp, and we thought he got injured at the end of the game. So he was absolutely shattered. So he couldn't play 90 minutes. So our only options really, Bentancur was suspended for that game, so he's fully rested. Basuma only played about 10 minutes, he's fully rested. And Gray, he only played about 10 minutes, he was fully rested too. And Gray played in the midfield, which we've all been asking for. So that midfield lineup was correct. There's nothing else he could have done in that midfield. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. Yes, there was no creativity, but where was his choices? Just answer that question. Then you've got on the wings, we had Johnson and Tell. Both of them didn't play in a couple of days ago. We had Odegaard played the full game. We had Sonny played the full game. Amount of times I've heard Sonny's being overplayed, and then when he rests him, Sonny should have played. It is sometimes I get so confused with this fan base, what they actually want. Some of them, not everyone. Some of this fan base, they'll never be happy. So no matter what decision he'll make, it's always the wrong decision because they want him out the door. So it doesn't matter what he does. He could have played his best 11 against Fulham, and let's say Van der Ven and Romero both got injured again. What would be the narrative then? It would be, you should have saved them for the Europa League. Now we're not going to win Europa League. You've cost us a trophy. That's what the narrative would have been. You all know that. That's what would have happened. So sometimes it's very frustrating being a Spurs fan at the moment, especially making these videos, because you have to try and put for this channel, I have to try and put a bit of context into what's happening and why. So I've just explained the midfield and I've just explained the wingers. The wingers that we did play were rested. So you're telling me we should have played Werner instead of Tell, when Werner has been complained about all season. So Werner couldn't have played either because in our eyes, Werner's not good enough, yeah? So we played Solanke. And in my opinion, I thought Solanke was going to get rested because he was played a couple of days ago as well. So, Postecoglou did play a player from Thursday, Solanke. And what impact did he have? He missed a couple of really good chances and he wasn't himself because he's not match fit yet. Then let's look at the back. Davis and Romero, which I thought were the two better players on the pitch today. I thought they were the two better players. We had Spence at right back and we had Udogie at left back. And, who would have said no to those two on the wing backs? Because they're two very, very good players. And we got Vicario in goal. So, I think he got his lineup spot on for the choices that he had to make. I'm not sure what else he could have done. And yeah, you could have said started. What if we started? Let's have this other argument. He could have started with Berevol and Maddison and tried to take the lead and then defended later on. But what if he started with Berevol and Maddison and Sonny? Let's say he started with these players that you all wanted on and we didn't score. Then we'd have to take them off in the second half while we're 1-0 down or 2-0 down. Or if, Fulham took the lead and we can't bring any attacking players on because we've already had them, they're tired and we've had to take them off. For me, I think he's done the right thing and I think he's done it in the right order. In the second half, we were the better side for, say, about 20 minutes of that second half. And we did have chances to go ahead. And then maybe we could have shut up shop. But because Solanke was missing his chances, Tell had a good chance to score and failed to score. And then, Fulham took their chances and they won. This could have easily, and the reason why as well, I think Fulham got in and scored their goals is because we had to take Romero off because Romero's not fit enough to play 90 minutes yet. He's not match fit yet. So even though he was our best player on the pitch, he still had to be taken off to be rested because he can't be risked. And as soon as he got taken off, it was very hard then for us to shut up shop because Gray, for me, he's a good centre-back when he plays in that position, but he's not Romero standard. It's hard. Every time Spurs lose, it's Ange out. But what's your solution? Nobody's got a solution for me. They always say, get anyone in, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does, because if you just got anyone in and they started losing every week, you would be wanting that guy out too. For me, it's very frustrating. I don't like losing. I'm not happy clapping here. If Ange went tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be saying, oh, I'm shocked. I wouldn't be saying, Ange should have stayed. I'm just saying that I can't see a solution at the moment. All I can see at the moment is he's got the Europa League for me. It's Europa League or bust. If he wins that Europa League, are you Ange Outers still? I've heard Ange Outers still say if he won the Europa League, they would still want him gone. And that must be a lot of hate for that man. To say, if we won one of the biggest trophies we've won in 40 years and still want a guy sacked from it, that just tells me you want him sacked no matter what he does. So that tells me no matter what decisions he makes, you're not going to agree with them. And when you're saying things like there was no fight against Fulham, there was fight against Fulham. They was battling just as hard as Fulham were. They were cancelling each other out. In the first half, nobody really had any chances. In the second half, I think we had the better chances, but they were clinical and we wasn't. That was the difference yesterday. And yeah, I don't know anymore. It's very hard. And when you're trying to show a bit of context, you're a happy clapper. I'm not happy clapping. I'm just giving you the context. I've gave you my context. So maybe in the comments below, tell me your context on what side he should have picked and what choices he had. And I've heard this, well, they've got international break and all this crap. So if he overplays them in our game, yeah, and he plays them for the full 90 minutes when they're not ready to play the full 90 minutes, and then they go on international break and get injured because they've been playing too much, whose fault is it? Because if he rests them now and they play international break and slowly build up their match fitness and come back fresher, isn't that a better thing? But overplaying them now and then sending them off to the international break doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let me know in the comments what you thought, what you think of Ange in, Ange out. It doesn't really matter to me at the moment. But come on, you Spurs.